Call this meeting to order. City of Groves, notice of a regular meeting of the City Council Chambers, Groves City Hall, January 3rd, 2023 at 5 p.m. You'd all rise for the prayer and pledge, please.
Our Father, we come to you this. Oh, I'm sorry. I was motioning that they were coming. Okay, I'll get you next time.
Misunderstand.
Sorry.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this Groves City Council meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture those bonds of community and collective agreement. Give us with your grace, Lord God, and give the mayor and these city leaders wisdom in making good decisions that affect this city. Continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of the truth, for the greater glory to you, and for the service of our community. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you all again for that. Sorry, Rob.
Sorry.
Roll call, City Clerk.
Mayor Bourne,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem McAdams, Councilmember Dugas. Here. Councilmember Oliver,
Here.
Councilmember Vincent.
Here.
Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's meeting. Councilmember McAdams asked that he, or express his sorry for not being here. He, had emergency surgery on his gallbladder. He's still dealing with the side effects of that. So he apologizes and, yeah, we all wish him the best of luck moving forward. Item 4, approve the minutes of the December 19th, 2022 City Council meeting and the December 22nd, 2022 special meeting.
I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes of the December 19th, 2022 City Council meeting and the December 22nd, 2022 special meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the December 19th, 2022 City Council meeting and the December 22nd, 2022 special meeting. Do you have any questions? Being no questions, vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Vincent.
Aye.
Councilmember Oliver.
Aye.
Councilmember Dugan.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 5 will be reports. We do not have any reports tonight. We'll now open for citizen comments. Any citizen comments? Last call. So, all right, we'll move on. Item 6A, authorize the mayor to sign the separation agreement for the current city manager.
I make a motion. We authorize the mayor to sign the separation agreement for the current city manager.
Second. Have a motion and a second to authorize the mayor to sign the separation agreement for the current city manager. Do I have any questions at this time?
I would like, Mrs. Carrier, is it Mrs. Carrier or Ms.? Mrs. Carrier, if you wouldn't mind, answer a couple of questions. In reading through the agreement, I'm sure many of us have gotten a lot of questions, and because of the executive session, I honored it, and have not answered any questions concerning any of this. So I would like, if you don't mind, to explain fully what some of this means. When you say number 11, page 3, number 11, it says they will not disparage the other party here too. Could you please let me know in detail what you mean by that?
Well, that provision, and I want to just advise council that I'm not your counsel. So Mr. Monk and I have discussed this agreement. This is in accordance with what you agreed to the last time I was here. But just to reiterate, what this means, it's nothing different than what you're bound to by law anyway. On personnel items, you are not permitted under law to discuss personnel issues of individuals employed or formerly employed with the city. So this says, this is an agreement that really it's on Mr. Sosa, that he will not disparage any of you, or the city of Groves. And that was something that, you know, he insisted to be in here because it was never it's not his intention to do that. But under the law, and the reason you have executive sessions, you have chapter 52, with regards to personnel issues, is that those aren't things that you're supposed to be discussing in public anyway. So this merely reiterates what the law says, is that you're not going to be discussing personnel issues regarding Mr. Sosa in public. This document will become a public document, so it can be released upon a request to any citizen or anyone in the public. So the document is there, but that provision is, you know, it's in it. And it just means you will not disparage him, he will not disparage you, that this is a separation agreement between the city manager and the city that's amicable, that has been reached by both parties.
Okay, and number 8, it says non-defamation provisions that go along with the disparagement.
So where are you reading on her?
Number 8,
No, yes, same thing.
non-defamation provisions. Okay, and when you say that, I know it covers, you know, name calling and things like that, but does it cover that we're not allowed to say how we came to the decision if someone asks? Because, you know, we've been asked.
Well, that decision was made in executive session, so you're bound by executive session. And I mean, you can lean on whatever, if you've got individual questions, because I would not like to stand here and assist you in defending him. But if,
No,
yeah, if
I'm
you've
not
got,
doing that. I just
yeah,
want to
but
know
if you've got,
specifically.
right, if you've got specific questions, as I would tell him, ask your lawyer and, you know, clear that. But really, the agreement provides that the mayor will provide a recommendation that he has agreed to do.
Right.
And will cover the performance of Mr. Sosa.
Okay. Because, you know, I've been asked things like, you know, what did you do? Or how did you come to this decision? Or why did this happen? And all I have said to anyone is, because of the executive session and the nature of it, the rules and the laws concerning it, I'm not able to discuss that with you. So I would like to know.
I think the response to that would be, this is a mutual agreement. It's not that you've found that he's done anything. And it's not that he's found that the city's done anything. This is a mutual agreement for the separation. And this is something that's commonly done when persons of 20 years leave a city or leave any kind of institution.
Okay. Let's see, let me ask. In the future, we're going to have an investigation, and we're going to also, have a forensic accountant come in. So if anything comes up, we're not allowed to, reference it back.
That's not what this agreement says, and I don't know that you take any action to do anything, any of those things.
No, we're going to, we have not. It was
But I'm saying-
it was on the agenda.
It was on the agenda, but I can't address whether you're gonna take action until you vote.
Okay,
So-
no, what I'm saying is, it would not be addressed towards Mr. Sosa personally. It would be towards, the position.
Well, a forensic audit means that that person is looking for any kind of misconduct.
Right,
So that's, you know, it is what it is. So this does not address any kind of criminal, provisions or anything like that. But again, I am not going to take the position that this city council has voted on anything.
right,
So, and I mean, I'm very cautious about that because I do represent governmental entities. And until you take a vote, I cannot say what you will or will not do.
right. Okay, just wanted to make, sure that I understood and that the city understands completely what our boundaries are and what we can and can't say and what we can and can't do.
And again, I would request that you lean on your city attorney to advise you on that, and I will certainly help Mr. Sosa if he's in need of that.
Yes, of
Thank you.
course. Thank you.
Any other questions? Being no other questions, vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Vincil.
Aye.
Councilmember Oliver.
Aye.
Councilmember Dugan.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Want to sign, Mayor?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Y'all just hang tight real quick.
It's fine.
Get out of that seat first. I'm not pushing you out.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm on my game today.
Thank you very much.
Hang on, brother, it's gonna be good. Okay.
Look at him, brother.
Right. We have welcomed our interim city manager, Mr. Lance Dio, to the stage.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for your trust.
Just-
This position.
Just for clarity, what do you want us to call you? You want to be chief VSL or do you want to be called interim city manager?
I like Lance.
You like
I
that?
just like Lance.
We'll call you whatever we feel comfortable with.
That's fine by me.
All right.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
All right. Item 6B, discuss and approve HR to begin the search process and looking for an executive recruitment company to assist with finding a new city manager.
I make a motion, we discuss and approve HR, begin the search process and looking for an executive recruitment company to assist with finding a new city manager.
I have a motion and a second to discuss and approve HR to begin the search process and looking for an executive recruitment company to assist with finding a new city manager. Do we have any questions? And I think Ms. Stephanie has a small report for us.
I do, the only thing I've done at this point is just call some other cities that I know recently have gone out to look for city managers, finance directors, and question the cost range, just so we would have some kind of idea of what costs we're looking at. And what I've gathered, just rough numbers here, is anywhere from $17,000 to $30,000. Should council approve me to move forward, I'll get more information for each of you and proposals that will give us more information about that process and what all it entails.
Stephanie, did you review the one that the new company sent?
I did.
And, what was the cost on that one?
That was, well, if I have to go out for bids, we want to be fair to everyone.
Oh, so you don't want to tell
I
us.
don't want it
I understand.
correct. So,
So you've already been looking at companies?
I just called cities, but there was one that reached out to me.
One reached out to me
Yeah.
and asked if they could send us a proposal.
Yeah,
And I said, sure, and I forwarded it to Stephanie, but
yeah.
that was unsolicited.
Correct.
They just,
Yeah, so I called like the city of Beaumont, city of Port Neches, Maryland, and asked them, can you give me a cost, would have, you know, for when you went out, one back Maryland's hired someone right now, they're looking for a finance director. And, Port Neches, used one for a public works director, Beaumont just hired a new city manager. So they let me know what the cost range was for them to give us some idea.
They all, I'm sorry,
oh, go ahead. Here.
do they all use about the same company or?
I'm hearing the same names come up a lot, I am. So, and I also have an HR group that I'm a member of, and I send out emails, I'm starting to, just for names of who they may have used in the past, I'm starting to receive some responses, so I'll reach out to those companies as well, should council approve me to do so. So,
Okay, well, when you receive, when you're dealing with these companies, is it okay that she forwards the name of the company to us?
well, what I'll do, I'll go out for proposals, and then I'll present those proposals to all of you. And I would like to see if I can even get some of those companies to come out and do a presentation, whether it be in person or via Zoom. But, a lot of it is, I just, once you guys approve the process, I'll get the ball rolling and do those things. So,
Have you gotten any type of, time frame as far as, asking for proposals, how long it's gonna take for them to get them back to
I'm
us?
hearing it takes about a week to get a proposal in, and then once I receive them, I'll come before council to pick who you'd like to choose. And then at that point, I'm hearing about 4 to 5 months process to find a city manager. It's a lot of work. So, yeah,
I want to,
sorry, Lance.
I'd like to ask, in this process, I would like to see, if Brandon Monk could also be in the process of this whole,
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
something that you can definitely discuss with whoever we pick, because they're going to be working for the council. They're picking the next, you know, you guys are picking the next city.
so you and
Manager.
him could work hand in hand in
Absolutely.
looking at these companies
Mhm.
with his experience and stuff. I think it just gives us a broader,
Whatever you would like. If you'd like for me to discuss that with them
Please
as
do.
well. Okay.
if everyone would agree with that. I guess, the second part of that is this would be outside of his normal scope of work. So if, there's additional cost to that, if council would possibly agree to, compensate him for, because it's not part of his
Right, or are you asking that he helps me pick a company?
work.
Because they'll come here and you'll have a proposal, they'll be here, they'll do a presentation, so they'll be a part of that just by being here. You know, so, but that's up to you guys, I mean,
What additional
I
work
don't-
would
yeah.
you consider
I
him doing?
don't know, because I've never done.
I mean, if we hire somebody, I expect them to do the work.
Sure.
I mean, they'll have question, I mean, I only know the little pieces of it, but I know that they'll have questions for council. They're gonna ask you what you're looking for. You'll get to know the recruiters. I'll be like a liaison. They'll put together a brochure of the city, qualifications, things like that. I'll help them gather pictures, information, give council information, and give that to them. But they'll come here, they'll meet when the proposals are ready. You guys will have to approve it. They'll be here to do the presentation if you so wish.
I guess then if it warrants any additional, I don't know what it would take, but I think we need to be fair that if it ends up taking some time that wasn't expected or whatever, that at least he'd be compensated for that because it's outside of his normal scope.
I mean, I guess I don't understand.
Maybe there's not.
I mean, all I'm doing is going out for bids
And I
to
appreciate
get
it.
proposals and bringing it to council, and Mr.
Okay.
Mutt's
And
here.
if there's nothing there,
So I don't know if there's anything that he needs to do that would require that And then you, the council.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I just want to make sure that,
One thing that would be helpful for me is just to be involved in the communications as you're receiving information so that I get it more in real time, maybe in advance of the meeting. I think that'd be helpful. In terms of anticipating additional costs, I don't. And I really would be willing to do that as part of my ordinary role here with the city, to see them to the next city manager.
When you say information, you're talking about after we pick a company.
Well, even related to, I think, the companies that are up for consideration, as you get communication, correspondence relating to that, it'd be helpful for me to get that information, more real time as opposed to just up against the meeting.
In other words, you would be copied on the emails.
That's it.
Well, and one of the things, the proposals all have a deadline when they all have to be in. So at that point, once all of them are received, I would think definitely, I don't know, you're the attorney, is that something, like if I go out for RFQs, there's this bids, and they send those in, we can't even open those bids until a certain day, so if I give you information prior to
The
that.
information where you're going back and forth requesting those proposals,
Mhm.
where they're providing you literature and things like that, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
the proposals themselves.
Got it.
Yeah, the bids
Yeah.
themselves, yeah.
Okay, okay.
How many companies do you think we're looking at that we would be receiving information from?
I'm going to reach out to about 6.
Okay, that sounds good.
Mhm.
I don't think so. Unless anybody else has any other questions for it. So this motion on the floor is for, to approve the search process to receive bids.
Mhm.
Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay. That being said, we'll vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Benson.
Aye.
Councilmember Oliver.
Aye.
Councilmember Dugan.
Aye.
Motion approved. 6C, consider approval request from Jefferson County Amateur Radio Club for the use of Lions Park from 1 p.m. on January 28, 2023 to 1 p.m. on January 29th, 2023.
I make a motion, we consider approval request from the Jefferson County Amateur Radio Club for the use of Lions Park from 1 p.m. on January 28th, 2023 to 1 p.m. January 29th, 2023.
A second.
A motion and a second to consider approval of request from Jefferson County Amateur Radio Club for the use of Lions Park from 1 p.m. on January 28, 2023, 1 p.m. on January 29th, 2023. Do I have any questions? Is the radio guy here? If you don't mind, come up. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
My name is Kirk Mahaney. Did 3848 Dunn and Gross.
All right. Basically, you're gonna do the same thing you did last year.
Same thing we did last year.
Okay, was there any
No
concerns
problems.
or
The only,
needs from
the only
last
thing
year?
I will want to do is that, we had a visit from Troy, the Parks and Recreation Director. He did not know we were gonna be there. And I made a note.
What,
I will-
last year?
I will contact him. So they know what.
He's sitting right behind you.
I only met him that day. He come out, he was very cordial, very nice, helped us make sure restrooms were open and things like that. But, we had
So no other
No.
unforeseen needs or
No.
anything?
we provide our own power. We treat this as an emergency communications exercise. And, don't need anything from the city except the spot to put us in.
Was Mr. McAdams out there with y'all last year? I know he had expressed interest.
He drove by waving at us because he had come down with COVID right at that time. And yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? No other questions, we'll vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Benson.
Aye.
Councilmember Oliver.
Aye.
Councilmember Dugan.
Aye.
Motion approved. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Uh, 6D, authorized signatories for the city depository.
I'll make a motion to authorize signatories for city depository.
Should we list them? Maybe on your motion, and the staff recommendations.
It's under the second sheet here. The locations we're making the signatures for will be First Financial Bank. That's it, right? Mayor, we're gonna authorize the city manager, mayor pro tem, and city manager to be signatories on all accounts held by the city depository.
You said city manager twice.
Did I?
Mayor.
Authorize the mayor, mayor pro tem, and city manager.
We authorize
I think we got it.
Okay.
and all that.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to authorize signatories for the city depository. To authorize the mayor, mayor pro tem, and city manager to be signatories on all accounts held by the city depository. Do I have any questions? Lamar, do you have anything you need for this?
Other than your approval, replacing Mr. Sosa with Mr. Lance.
All right, and, Mr. Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem McAdams.
Correct, he'll be the emergency signature.
All right, any questions? No. Being no questions, vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Vincent.
Aye.
Councilmember Oliver.
Aye.
Councilmember Dugas.
Aye.
Motion passes. 6E, discuss and consider suspending game room applications until the updated ordinance is approved.
I make a motion, we discuss and consider suspending game room applications until the updated ordinance is approved.
I second.
Have a motion and a second to discuss and consider suspending game room applications until the updated ordinance is approved. Do I have any questions? No questions?
Now, this is gonna be on the planning and zoning on the 6th. It's on their agenda.
Nine.
Is it the 9th?
It's the nine.
No, anyway, it's gonna be on the planning and zoning. It's either the 6th or the 9th. We got another email on it today, which added this to it.
It's the nine.
It is the 9th?
Yes.
Okay. it's the 9th.
Being no other questions, vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Vincent.
Aye.
Councilmember Oliver.
Aye.
Councilmember Dugas.
Aye.
Motion approved. 6F, discuss and take action with the payment of engineering fee for the GLO street program phase 3 to be paid from the city street funds.
I make a motion, we discuss and take action with the payment of engineering fee for the Glow Street Program Phase 3 to be paid from city street funds.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to discuss and take action with the payment of the engineering fee for the GLO street program phase 3 to be paid from the city street funds. Do I have any questions?
This is the Whitley Hall, this is.
Yeah.
Have you had
Uh,
a chance to look at this?
I would say historically, the engineering fee was paid for out of the grant itself.
Correct.
It was brought to our attention that with that small amount, if we paid it, we could get more bang for our buck. Having the GLO street done with the 50,000 rather than keeping the 50,000 for ourselves and trying to do a street ourselves. That was the pitch for this. It would just add more to the GLO streets. If we pay the engineering out of our street. Mr. Lamar, do we currently have enough money to do that?
Yes, sir. The streets budget, yes, sir.
Okay.
For the engineering,
Was that a good explanation?
it was reasonable, yes, sir.
Would you like to try?
Not a bit, no interest at
I
all.
would love to hear it if you got a better one.
Generally speaking, you're looking to gather an economy of scale using the GLO monies purely for the construction portion of the streets, and the engineering exclusively will be paid by the city. So you have $50,000 more dollars to spend on pavement, generally speaking.
Okay, so in other words, the 50,000 wouldn't be taken away from the actual work on the streets.
That is correct, yeah. The idea being is it's gonna be one bid for whatever the amount is that's remaining, 300 odd, purely for the construction portion. The engineering will be a separate. So the idea being is you'll get an economy of scale for the extra $50,000 in the GLO funds. The the mayor's explanation was probably clearer than what I just presented.
Any other questions? No other questions, vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Vincent.
Aye.
Councilmember Oliver.
Aye.
Councilmember Dugas.
Aye.
Motion passes. Nothing for the city attorney. And number 7, invoices. City manager, Leo.
The invoice approval list for January 3rd, 2023. BYO Recreation LLC playground equipment for Lions Park, $58,317.02. DXI Industries Incorporated, CO2 and SO2 for wastewater plant is $9,031.20. Fuelman of Lafayette, gas and diesel charges for November 2022, $21,743.73. Hoist and crane, new jib crane for Taft and Georgia lift stations and installation. Repair of Georgia lift station trolley, $165,000. Lawco drainage improvements on 25th Street, $7,550. South Tech Surveyors, engineering services for 2022-2023 pipe bursting project, 25% complete, $6,856.25 for a grand total of $268,498.20.
I make a motion to approve the invoice approval list for January 3rd, 2023.
A second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the invoice approval list of January 3rd, 2023. Do you have any questions? Yes, sir.
Lamar, you probably answered this. The law code, is that the total of that project on 25th Street? Or is there gonna be more billing on that?
Probably more.
Okay, that's all I need.
The playground equipment for Lions Park, is that new equipment? Or I thought we had already,
We were waiting for some additional parts to come. I think it was for the tarp that's covering it or something like that. It took a while for those parts to get in for various reasons, and they are in, and now this is their final bill for the balance of it. And we were withholding the final payment, which is what you're seeing tonight, until those parts are coming into construction was complete.
okay, so we got everything we need for it.
That is correct, yes.
Troy, you might be able to answer this. The hoisting crane, I'm assuming that was an emergency deal or was that planned?
This was planned. It was actually asked for in the budget, for
Okay. It just came in? Or,
they're getting it done, yes, sir.
okay, they're getting it. Okay, good deal. Any other questions? Being no other questions, vote on the motion. Mayor votes aye. Councilmember Vincent.
Aye.
Councilmember Oliver.
Aye.
Councilmember Dugan.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mayor, before we move on out of this one, I'd like to, kind of give a, shout out to our water plant. For those of you who don't know, during the winter freeze that we had around Christmas time, the, water plant operators worked diligently 24 hours a day for probably a good 48 hours or more. David Mulber, Bobby Thomas, Chris Cropper, and I believe Ryan Dixon was all part of that. Those guys there did a fantastic job of running the water plant and did an excellent job of keeping the city operational. We never went under pressure to where we had to start doing a water notice. We were a little bit close, but they did a fantastic job. We also had some utility workers out there for, Troy, probably 36 hours, almost 36 hours straight, shutting off leaks to houses and other areas, finding leaks. So they did a fantastic job during the holidays, and I want to commend those guys for what they did during a holiday time. You know, most of us were sitting at home with our families, but they were out there working their rears off and did an excellent job, and I appreciate their work. Also too, want to thank the water plant operators again. We just had an incident over the weekend where we had a chlorine leak. And because of their procedures and they're following their procedures, they called us at the fire department. Our guys went down there, tried to help them out. It was a little bit beyond our control as the fire department, so we called in Port Arthur Hazmat, which is through the mutual aid agreement. That's how it all works, and it worked out perfectly. They came in, they isolated everything. They were able to get everything fixed, and nobody was injured through it all. It took about 2 hours before the process was actually fixed, and no injuries were reported. So I just want to commend the work of our Public Works Department and what they've done over the last 2 weeks.
Very good.
Thank you. Item 9, council member comments. Any council member comments? I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Were we gonna discuss anything about there were emails that went,
We would need an agenda item for that
we need an
discussion.
agenda item for the next agenda?
Yes, you can request that, and if there's enough council members that approve it, we can have it on the next agenda. That'd be appropriate for an agenda item.
Okay,
Any other council member comments? All right, again, happy new year, and then I will adjourn this meeting at 5:36. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mayor. Appreciate it.